The Macdonnell Ranges is recognised nationally and internationally as an area of extremely high conservation significance. It's a very important refuge for a variety of plant groups, and these include endemic species that only occur there and nowhere else.
If you're visiting Central Australia, what you'll find and what you'll experience in the Westmacs is very different from what you'll experience, say, in the Simpson Desert or in the Great Sandy Desert. The West Macdonnells is actually, even on a continental scale, it's a massive area of rocky habitat. And what that means for animals is there's a lot of opportunities there, there's a lot of diversity and richness in terms of habitats.
The Macdonnell Ranges Park itself supports around 23 broad-scale vegetation types, and these include hummock grasslands, acacia shrublands, acacia woodlands, and a series of really highly specialised communities that only occur in localised situations such as in permanent springs or around waterholes. There's quite a few species that are protected within the context of the Mac Ranges bioregion. Some really iconic classic sort of species that are well known include the Central Australian palm and the Macdonnell Ranges cycad, both of which are possibly relic species and are highly dependent on that particular environment for their persistence in the arid zone.
A few years ago we put out a little data logger 6 metres into a little cave near Ormiston Gorge. We measured the temperature over a 12-month period, and we found that inside the crevice the temperature range was only 16 to 30 degrees, so just a 14-degree little window of temperature, whereas outside it ranged from -7 to 45 degrees, so over a 50-degree range. And what this means for animals is they actually have an opportunity to, I guess, shelter from the extremes of the desert environment. So all these really great conditions and this environmental variability, what it means is there's a really nice diverse fauna that actually lives in the West Macdonnells. For example, if you look at something like fish are very rare in desert environments, yet in the West Macs there's actually 10 species there, which sort of on a national scale doesn't really mean much, but if you think in the arid zone, it's actually quite a mind-boggling number of species to have. And a site like Ormiston Gorge, just a little waterhole there, it's had 8 species recorded. Redbank Gorge has had 6 species. There's also heaps of birds there. There's over 170 species been recorded. It's a real haven for reptiles. There's almost 90 species been recorded so far, and there's sort of slowly new species are being added to that list.
The presence of the Macdonnell Ranges disrupts the flow of fire across the landscape. So in these high rugged areas you'll get fire patterns that are a lot more patchy. So this provides fire refugia for species that aren't able to cope with recurrent fire. So a lot of species are killed by fire and their seed banks aren't stimulated by fire. So these species need to situate themselves in areas where fire is quite rare, and when it does occur, it's not intense.
I guess there's a number of factors at work that make it the West Macs great for animals. So both the richness of the environment and also just the sort of fortress effect of that massive amount of rock habitat.